Hi everyone, warm welcome from Poseidon Sport Fishing Tackles in Chadha, Chennai. A lot of accidents that happens in most of the sports, and common accidents that happen in fishing is number one, people normally slip on the rocks, and number two is hook lodging on their hand or their body. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to show you how to actually remove the hook. So I've got a piece of lamb leg that I'm going to demonstrate by putting some hooks and showing you how to remove them. And before that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing how to prevent hook lodging on your body. As they say, prevention is better than cure. So following these simple steps, you can actually prevent getting injured. So we'll go through them. And before going into the session, I would like to have a disclaimer. Fishing hooks in body is quite risky in some of the sensitive parts of your body. So when it's in neck or your top part of the region, or if it's in some area where you've got nerves, veins, arteries and all that, please do not try and remove it yourself. We'll go through which parts you can remove and which parts are risky in a minute. So whichever part that's risky, you need to go and seek medical attention, go to a hospital or a medical clinic and get it done there, because they'll have all the facilities just in case if you end up damaging your nerve, vein or arteries. They'll be able to help you get this out, and if any damage, they'll be able to fix it. So first we'll go into the different things that you can follow to prevent getting hooked. So number one is trying to use a barbless hook. Barbless hook comes really handy when you actually want to release a fish as well, but obviously using a barbless hook, the catch unhooking rate will be higher. But if you maintain a tight line and do not have any slack, you will still be able to land the fish, and you will be able to easily remove the fishing hook from the fish's mouth, as well as when it gets into your body, it's easy to get it out because there's no barb. So if you look in close up of the fishing hook, so this part here is called the barb. So this allows the hook to easily penetrate into the skin of the angler as well as into the fish's mouth, but it won't come out. It's more like a one way. So when it's being pulled out in reverse, this barb prevents it from coming out easily. So what you can do is you can use a plier and you can press this down, so that way it becomes like a barbless hook. So it's easy to unhook the fish if you want to release, and in case of accidents, you can actually remove the hook out because it's got no barb. So that's one. Number two, always try and use a lip grip and a plier, because what happens when fishing, once you're on a pier or a boat, you try and bring the fish close by and you either scoop it or you hold the leader and you lift it up. So what happens when you are actually holding it by the leader is you don't have control over the fish. The fish is going to shake all around, and there's a chance that the lure can actually come out of the hook and it can lodge on your body. So it's quite risky. So always use a plier and a lip grip. So lip grips are designed to hold the fish by its mouth and lift, so that way you have control. So once you bring the fish close by, either in the net or once you've lifted it up and put it on the boat or on the floor on the rocks, use a lip grip and grab the fish, so that way you have control. You can hold it a little away from your body and then take the pliers and use the pliers to remove the hook. So do not try to remove hook with your hands. That's when you actually end up piercing yourself, because the fish is still alive and there's more chance of them getting lodged in your body or the fish biting you. So it's going to be really risky. So always use a plier and a lip grip. And next thing is landing fish away from your body. So always when you bring the fish close, we sometimes think that we don't want to lose the fish and we try and grab the leader and try and pull it on the boat or on the rocks and put it right next to our feet. So what happens with toothy critters like barracuda and mackerel, they've got sharp teeth, and obviously once they're out of water, they're going to be in pain, and there's a chance that they can grab your leg or your hand. There's been a lot of accidents that's been reported by barracudas and mackerels, so it can cause you quite a bit of damage, as well as there's a chance of the trebles getting into, treble hooks getting into your body. So always try and keep the fish little away when you're landing from your legs. And if you're bringing it in, like I said earlier, using a lip grip, hold it away and remove the hook. And also, if you're planning to keep the fish, another safe way is before removing the hook, you can use a fish priest. It looks more like a puri rolling pin, like a wooden bat, like a baseball bat. You use it and knock the fish right on top of its head, in between the eyes. So that way you can actually kill it. Even though it sounds cruel, that's actually a proper way of killing a fish, because it's not gonna go through suffocation and pain, and it's when it dies with pain and suffocation, the meat quality deteriorates. This has been proved by the Japanese, that the toxins and the hormonal buildup in the pain actually deteriorates the fish's taste. So killing the fish using a priest and then removing the hook is also another safer way of doing that. And the next thing is, do not pose with the fish alive and the lure in its mouth. So what's going to happen when you're holding the fish? You get a good catch, you want to take a photo as quick as possible before the color fades. So when you try and hold the fish in your hand with the lure, the fish is going to move and shake, and there's a chance that you will end up lodging the hook in your hand. So always remove the lure from the fish's mouth and pose without the lure, so that way you are much safer. And also try and keep your hands away from the mouth, because if there's a chance that the fish could actually end up biting you, and you might end up getting piercing on your hands or your body. So next thing that you can also do is use gloves. Most gloves come with leather, so this actually kind of helps you with hooks. Hooks won't easily penetrate into leather, so this will save you to some extent. So try and use gloves as much as possible. And also the next thing that commonly people do, which gets the hook into the skin, is while tightening the hooks. While tightening the hooks, always make sure that you either use a split ring plier. Once you've tied the knot, when you want to tighten it, do not hold with your hand and pull, because there's a chance that this could slip and the hook will get lodged into your hand. There's been plenty of instances. So use a split ring plier. So you hold it and then tighten it. So you can use this, or also in Mustad and other brands, you see a hole here. This is actually for tightening the hook. So once you've tied the hook, put the hook into this hole here and then hold this tight and then pull the line to tighten the knot. Or what you can also do is, if you have a bike key or something, you can use this ring, put the hook into the ring and hold the bike key and then try and tighten. So that way you're not going to end up with the hook slipping and getting into your hand. And next one is, always try and use polaroid glasses when fishing. It's not just for fashion, it's also for your own safety. So what polaroid glasses does is, it's got this coating which will actually cut the reflection of the water. So even when your lure is snagged and you're trying to pull the lure out, you'll actually be able to see where the lure is. Also when you're pulling it out from a snag, there's a chance that the lure can come and get into your eye. So when you have a polaroid glass, so it gives your eye the protection, and you're not going to end up with hooks in your eye, because eye is very sensitive area. So with the hook going in, there's a high chance that you could end up losing your vision. So a good set of polaroid glasses will come in really handy for fishing. And if you're not interested in using polaroid glasses or sunglasses, you can also get those clear glasses that builders use to protect their eyes, which is available on Amazon and a lot of hardware stores. You can get those clear glasses and wear it. So that's also going to help protecting your eye. So the next thing is hook covers. So you do get hook covers. So when you're storing your lure or your hooks away, when you wash your lure after every saltwater trip to prevent corrosion, you can wash it and then put the hook cover on the trebles and then store it away. So that way it's actually going to be safe from kids and pets as well, because with all the lures you find them all coming in different attractive colors to stand out in water. So obviously kids and pets, they look at the colors and they get attracted and they try to play with it, and they could end up with the hooks lodging in themselves. So these hook covers comes in really handy. So try and use hook covers when you're storing them away. Also when you're on a boat or a fishing trip, when you're not using the lure when you are transporting in your car and things like that. Also you can put these hook covers, so it will stop that accident of someone moving their hand around on the boat or in the car and lodging the hook on themselves. So these hook covers also comes in different sizes and is available in most of the tackle shops. You can even get them from our tackle shop. And next thing is footwear. So always try and wear a good footwear with grip, and preferably a fully covered footwear, because what this is going to do is when you're walking on the rocks also, it's going to save your fingers on your foot, and also you will actually protect your leg from accidentally stepping on a hook or something, or lure or something that's lying on the floor. When you're getting the fish on, quickly removing the lure and trying to move the fish around, so you could end up stepping on it. So always wear a good footwear with grip, and full sleeves and pants. So also wearing the full sleeve, obviously it's going to protect you from the UV rays. Also it will protect you from the hooks, from the slight hook penetrations will be prevented by using that. And the last point is try and avoid crowded areas, because in some piers and all that, when the activity is hot, you will see a lot of people lined up next to each other and trying to cast, and half of the people probably you won't even know, and you do not know the casting skills. So when they're casting the lure and all that, and especially anglers do get excited if they see a little bit of action around. So if there's an action around a bait school or something being thrashed, the anglers are going to start casting hundreds and hundreds of time, and there's a chance that it could actually slip, or they could actually end up not opening the bail arm and casting by accident. It does happen even for experienced anglers, and they could end up actually hooking the angler who is next to them. So always try and avoid crowded spots, and try and stay at least 10 meters away from each angler, so it at least gives you that safe distance. Try and follow these steps so you can at least try and prevent whatever you can, or whatever is in your hands. While removing hooks, you will have to be really careful on where the hook is lodged before trying to attempt to remove them. Face area, anything from neck up to the head, if the hook is lodged, please do not try to remove them yourself, because there's a lot of veins, nerves, cartilages and tendons which you could end up damaging, and you could actually do more damage trying to remove them or pushing it through without medical help. So especially this triangular area, so your nose, mouth and your chin area has got a lot of nerve endings which are connected directly to the brain, and it can get easily infected. So avoid anything above neck, and very particularly do not touch anything in this area. Also your neck has got a lot of nerves, veins and everything. So we've got a image here showing that, just a small dissection showing that. So even if you touch your neck, you will see all the blood vessels and everything, all your central nervous system getting connected to your brain. That's why we're asking you not to touch any of this area if you're hooked. So go to hospital and get medical help, because even if you accidentally end up damaging any of the veins or nerves, there is other departments in that hospital where they can straight away treat that issue. And again, there are a lot of arteries and everything running around your ears. So like I said, this is the reason why we ask you not to try to remove the hooks when it's in the areas above your neck. Also in hands, if you look at this part near the wrist, again these area has got a lot of sensitive nerves and veins running right on top of the skin. So this area also try and avoid removing yourself, seek medical help. Also any joints, ligaments, arteries and nerve areas, so try and avoid them. Also on your leg, you've got a ligament here, so it's common that when you're trying to land a fish that you could end up hook or the fish biting this area. So those times do not try and treat it yourself, try and get medical help. So which areas are safe? So all your hand except for this wrist area, so your palm is safe. This area you got to be careful, a lot of ligaments and tendons. So pretty much all your arm, so below your neck, most of the areas are safe. I'm going to insert the hooks to show you the different scenarios of how the hook insertion can happen and how to tackle them case by case. So first, if an angler happens to get one of the hooks lodged from the lure into the skin, the first thing that you need to do is you can either help him to get it out if it's in the non-sensitive areas, but if it's in the sensitive area and you have to take him to the hospital, please make sure that you remove the second treble hook first. Otherwise there's a chance that he can get the second treble hook lodged in the skin as well. So you can do that by holding the lure tight, so you're not shaking and creating a more pain, and you slowly remove the splittering, so that way you can remove the hook completely out, so that eliminates the possibility of the second hookup. Or next option is you can cut this eye using a hook cutter, and hook cutter is a very important tool to be having in everyone's tackle box. So if you are a group of angler, make sure that at least one of you carry a hook cutter all the time, because this could actually help you with unhooking and easing the pain when you are fishing in remote areas. So we've shown a scenario where one hook is lodged, so we'll show you how to remove that in a minute. So now there are two scenarios of hookups. One is just the top skin level. So if you see this is not completely gone into the skin, only the barb is gone in. And if you look at this scenario here, this is called a deep hookup. It's more like a point of no return. So you can see that almost the whole shank, the bend is gone in, and in this case it's only in the top of the skin. So whenever you're having this kind of scenario of top skin hookup, you can actually push the hook through and you can get the barb cut, and you can slide the hook back in the same direction that it's gone in. Since it's on top of the skin, you're not going to end up damaging any of your nerves, veins or arteries. So what you do is you just hold it and quickly push it through the skin and bring the shank of the hook through the skin and expose the barb outside the skin. Now what you need to do is you need to cut the hook under the barb, and you can slide it back the same way it went in. Or next option is you can cut the eye of the hook and slide it this way as well. So whichever is easier. And a very important point is, while you're cutting the hook, make sure that you're wearing the glasses and the person who's injured is got his eyes closed or is wearing a glasses as well, because when you're cutting it in high pressure, it will shatter and it can get lodged in their eye, which is going to probably cause more complication. So I've got the hook cutter and I'm gonna cut this. So now the hook is cut, so I can slide it back the same way it had gone in. So that's scenario number 1. So the second scenario is a deep hookup. So in this case you can't push it further in and bring it the other way around, because you're going to end up damaging your nerves, veins and cartilages. So in this case what you do is you take a piece of braided line or mono and you fold it like this and go through the shank of the hook and put this end piece through this loop and secure the hook. So tighten this knot slowly, and while doing this make sure that you're holding the hook tight so you're not causing more pain by shaking. So tighten this. And a very important point here is, as you're going to pull this line, you need to make sure that you're actually pressing this down. The reason being, since the hook is lodged this much, so if you don't press this down, what's going to happen when you're pulling it, again the barb is not going to allow it to slide out of the skin. So you need to make sure that you press the eye down, so it actually helps to give that angle for the hook to come out the same way it went through, with least barb interruption to the skin. So now that you have done the knot, press the hook eye down and push this thread more close to the skin as possible, and you hold this with one hand and pull this with the other hand, and the hook is out, and this will not cause much pain for the angler as well. So that's done. And now with a treble hook, again similar scenario. So if it's on top of the skin, you can do the push technique. You push it through the skin and cut the barb, or second option is use the line, press the eye down and tie the loop here and pull it out. So after removing the hook, it's really important that you actually clean that area with either tincture, Dettol or Savlon with a piece of cotton, and also apply some antiseptic. And most importantly, you need to get a TT, tetanus shot, to try and get not get that area septic. So that's very important.